everybody, and welcome to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour, where I'm your host, Wizzy Puff. And of course, with me always is my co-host, Ross.
Hey guys, it's me, Ross, Pitt, Shark Hunter. It's good to be here, as always.
So are the rumors true?
Nope. All fabricated.
Oh, that's good to hear. For a second, I was worried that you were actually part lion.
Yeah, no. No, I'm not. You fuck. So, Wizzy, how was your week?
My week has been wonderful.
Nice. You know, I love to hear that.
But how has your week been?
It's been average, I guess. I saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire today.
Ooh, I don't know what that is.
It's a new Ghostbusters film. You could
Awesome.
probably guess that part.
I did not know that they were making another.
Man, you need to go to more movies, my man.
I am. I'm going to see the Spy Family movie when it comes out.
The hell is that?
It's a really good anime.
Oh, Spy Cross Family is what I've heard it was called. Yeah, I actually have watched like 3 episodes of that. And I was going to watch more of it. And then I was like, wait a minute. Crunchyroll is bullshit. So I canceled that subscription. It's now on Disney Plus, though, so I could watch that.
Yeah, it's on Hulu as well.
Yeah, that's where it gets on Disney Plus.
Oh, that makes sense. I always forget that those things are attached.
Yeah, now they're really attached.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I've been meaning to watch it for like the time since it came out, but just because my siblings are going to be seeing the movie in theaters, I started binge watching it recently just so I could catch up in time to watch it with them.
Ah, smart. You know, you should watch more movies that aren't anime. Maybe that's the problem here.
Excuse me, this is the first anime movie that I've watched since...
In theaters, specifically. That's what I meant.
Okay, that is true. I do mainly watch anime movies in theaters now. But the last one I watched before this was Waitress, because that was, for some reason, the Broadway musical was playing in the theater near me.
Ah, I see.
With freaking Sarah Bareilles. It was wonderful.
That's I was going to talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, but that's a good talk. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, better than a lot of people are saying. I feel like Phoebe is still the best Ghostbuster, that's all.
I do like Phoebes.
Yeah, I know.
Can't think of a bad one. Is there a Phoebe in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic?
No.
Oh. Well, there should be.
Speaking of My Little Pony,
we are going to be reading...
What do you mean we? What is this, Wizzy? I was just saying the random words speaking of My Little Pony. What is it, dearest host of the podcast?
We're going to be reading the My Little Pony fanfiction, A Walk in the Park, by that one writer.
Well, that's a surprise.
Is it?
To me, yes. Because I'm the one you're introducing this fanfiction to.
Oh, it's true. I thought you meant it was a surprise that we'd be reading My Little Pony fanfiction.
No.
Today we will be reading A Walk in the Park by that one writer. I don't know which one, but it's one of them. Okay,
Wizzy, say, speaking of walking, and then transition that into the telling them to go down into the description and read it. Okay, go.
Okay. Speaking of walking, you should walk yourself down into that description and click on the link and give this story a like.
No, Wizzy, you have to tell them to read it first.
Do I have
That way
to?
They get the view.
Okay.
And then you say, or if you don't want to, that's okay. You just give them the like. But
Okay.
You have to insist that they read it first.
I got this. Speaking of walking, you should walk yourself down into that description, give this story a read it for yourself, and then, afterward, give it a like regardless of how much you actually like it, because this author made a story and they deserve that.
Yeah, I agree.
Cue to an hour after we're done reading it and we're just regretting the weird Nazi fanfiction that we just posted.
Didn't expect it to be a goose walk.
All right. Chapter 1. A Walk in the Park
No, 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 that won't do at all.
A crumpled piece of paper landed atop the overflowing garbage pile, bouncing off and landing on the floor. Rarity sighed.
Oh, this is infuriating.
She removed her glasses and rubbed the bags from under her eyes. The door opened with a creak. "Sis, are you okay?" A young filly entered the room.
Sweetie Belle, what are you doing in here?
Sweetie Belle shrugged. "Mom and Dad were concerned that we haven't spent enough time together lately, so I stopped by." She sat on her haunches, surveying the chaos around her. Papers strewn across the desks near scraps of cut cloth. Mannequins stood in the center of the room, dressed in gaudy outfits made of more gem than fabric. In the corner, opalescence hid beneath even more half-stitched prototypes. What happened? A blue aura surrounded the mannequins, stripping them of their clothes. The glowing mass of cloth joined with the other rejected designs from the corner and flew out the window, eliciting a hiss from opalescence. Rarity turned to face her sister with a grin that didn't quite reach her eyes.
You needn't worry about it, dear. I've got it all under control.
She put her glasses back on.
Run along. I'm very busy with this order from Photo Finish. I just can't seem to find my muse today.
Photo Finish. I think we've read that name in one other fic before.
Few other fics, but yes.
Oh, really? A few?
It had to be a few by this point.
Dang. Returning to her desk, Rarity hastily scrawled a new design on a new piece of paper. Using her magic, she held it up next to a mannequin for comparison. The sight drew a frown.
Dear me, what was I thinking?
She murmured.
The dimensions are all off. I must be losing my mind.
As her sister scribbled adjustments and muttered to herself, Sweetie Belle watched from near the doorway. She raised an eyebrow. "Sis, maybe you should take a break," she suggested. Rarity gasped, clutching a hoof to her chest.
With this deadline looming? How absurd. How could you even suggest something like that?
Pointing toward the window, Sweetie Belle deadpanned. "You threw your cat out the window." Jesus. Eyes wide open, her sister ran to the window.
Opal?
A faint mewl answered from below.
Oh, Opal, Mommy's got you.
A very irritated feline levitated through the window and into Rarity's arms. Opalescence glared at Rarity. Glarity. Her owner appeared not to notice as she cooed and prodded her poor pet. Rarity felt a hoof on her shoulder. Her sister stood next to her. Eyebrows creased. "After the Sisterhood social, you told me that sisterhood is a give-and-take relationship. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to give me your time, and I'm going to take you on a walk." Sweetie Belle looked straight into her sister's eyes. Rarity opened her mouth, but closed it again upon seeing Sweetie Belle's eyes soften with a pleading look.
Okay, so you might be wondering, what is the Sisterhood social?
I was hoping you wouldn't notice that I didn't know what that was.
Well, it's an event in the show. Well, it's run by the Apple family, and they have a whole bunch of games that sisters play with, or something like that. Or it's just a race. I think it's just a race, actually, with many challenges and stuff like that in it.
Ooh.
The episode Sisterhood Social is a pretty good episode because it explores the relationship of Rarity and Sweetie Belle and how Rarity is an asshole.
Aww.
And she'll never be anything more than an asshole.
But that's okay, and that's the lesson.
No, it's she redeems herself by the ending of the episode.
Yay!
And really, that is the start of Rarity becoming a good character.
Okay, but did it include the two sisters that matter the most?
Depends.
You know, Celestia and Luna.
No.
Dang it. Come on, the Sisterhood social and the sisters weren't there?
Wait, you think they're gonna pop in for every freaking thing, every event?
A sister-themed one at least.
No. It's just a random event held by the Apple families in this backwater town.
Yeah, they're too good for Sweet Apple Acres.
They are too good for Sweet Apple Acres. Not to mention, Luna only came back into the show after like 2 episodes afterwards, so... No, wait. Maybe it was 1 episode before this one.
Ooh, perfect time!
Yeah, but that was a Halloween episode, and this one wasn't.
Aw.
So anyways, that's what the Sisterhood of Social is.
Okay.
And then there's also an episode called Brotherhood of Social, where Big Mac has to do the social with Apple Bloom because he wants to, bond with his youngest sister.
So he actually gets to do some talking?
Yep.
Go Big Mac.
It's got some pretty good moments in it.
Rarity broke eye contact. Looking around her cluttered workspace, a defeated sigh escaped her.
Fine. Perhaps I could use a short break.
Sweetie Belle's eyes lit up. Yay! We get to spend some time together! Her sister's hoof rose in front of her, blocking her path to the door.
This is merely a reprieve from my work. I cannot afford a spare second until this dress is made.
A notepad floated to her side from the desk.
As such, I will be taking this along.
The hoof retracted, and Sweetie Belle bounded through the door and down the stairs. A loud clatter followed her as she raced to the front door. Let's go, sis! Rarity took her time, striding gracefully like a true lady.
I'm coming!
She paused at the window, taking a look at the sky. Clouds hung low and dark like a shadow over the horizon.
Do you know the forecast today? I can't recall what it was for the life of me.
Shrugging, Sweetie Belle replied, No, Miss Cheerilee said something about it today, but I was talking to my friends at the time.
Of course.
Rarity mused to herself. She did not like the look of those clouds at all. It occurred to her that she may have been better off canceling the walk and instead curling up under a blanket with hot cocoa. Her sister, however, did not like quiet afternoons spent inside. The idea was cast aside. Rarity strolled up and opened the door, which Sweetie Belle immediately ran through faster than one could say trouble.
Shouldn't you grab an umbrella? There are rain clouds on the horizon,
she called, grabbing one for herself. It'll be fine. A crack in her voice betrayed Sweetie Belle's impatience. Chuckling, the older sister finally began their walk. Sweetie Belle led the way, humming to herself as she admired the scenery. Her sister trailed behind, hovering the notepad in front of her. Rarity, Sweetie Belle whined. The point of going for a walk was to get away from your work. I thought you'd enjoy spending some time at the park. Rarity lowered her notepad and glanced at her surroundings.
Yes, lots of tall trees and grass. Very lovely.
The notepad levitated once more, obscuring Rarity's view as she added more notes to her latest sketch. Sweetie Belle shook her head. A robin flew by, and she whistled at it using a tune Fluttershy once taught her. The bird tweeted back, fluttering around her. She held out her hoof, letting the bird roost there. She turned and extended her hoof toward her sister. Rarity, look! I got a robin to land on me!
Very nice, Batman. Very nice, Sweetie Belle. It's a very pretty bird.
The pencil continued to scratch against the paper, but the notepad remained in front of Rarity's face. The robin flew off. Sighing, Sweetie Belle continued walking. Her humming ceased, replaced by a series of loud and obnoxious sighs. The notepad fell to the ground with a loud thwack. Rarity glared at her sister.
Honestly, Sweetie Belle, I have no idea what you want from me. I must get this dress finished, and I only have 3 days to do so.
I want you to spend time with me for once, instead of focusing on your dumb dresses. Rarity gasped.
Dresses are not dumb. They are works of art, a way in which I reflect the beauty in the world.
Sweetie Belle rolled her eyes. Yeah, because you're doing such a great job of noticing the beauty around you.
Whatever do you mean?
Rarity approached her sister, hesitantly putting her hoof on the filly's shoulder.
If you feel jealous, then I could make a dress for you next.
A loud groan came.
For a price, of course.
The price of your soul.
Jesus, I was talking like bits or something.
Nah.
Like money, man.
She's a Grim
Reaper. What the hell
Reaper.
is she gonna do with a soul?
Rarity is a Grim Reaper. She imbues souls into dresses to make them look pretty.
Jesus.
It's my own fanfic I'm working on.
So you're just gonna steal my ideas? Making the main 6 the Grim Reapers?
No, I'm taking your ideas and making them better.
You suck.
I'm sorry, but Rarity is a much more convincing Grim Reaper. She just has that evil edge to her.
Oh, and Fluttershy doesn't? I've got some stuff to show you. Also, do you think the Grim Reaper is evil?
He's usually depicted as such.
I disagree.
Yeah, he has some pretty great depictions as a neutral being.
I've always found him to be more neutral than anything.
Yeah, and then he just got this sucky job of killing people.
He doesn't kill people, he guides their souls into the afterlife.
Yeah, that's what I said when I murdered that family.
He doesn't kill people.
And I didn't kill anyone. I just guided their soul into the afterlife.
You suck.
He definitely kills people in some iterations. Come on. He's known for
it's
like friggin' Billy and Mandy.
Some he technically kills people, I guess. But like, even in the most recent evil iteration I could think of, which is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, he doesn't until he gets pretty angry at a guy.
Ooh! Just like us all. He's really human. A loud groan came as an answer as Sweetie Belle brushed off her sister's hoof. No, you don't get it! Look around you! Look at these flowers! Look at the birds! Look at the sky!
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
A white streak tore through the darkened clouds. The ground shook with a loud rumble and a clap. With a jolt, the filly ran to her sister's side. She stepped on the notepad, sending it flying. The world inverted as the ground raced toward her.
That was intentional.
Yeah, she was definitely just doing it to ruin her sister's work and make her start over. Because you know that Rarity would never quit.
Mm-hmm. Sweetie Belle.
Gathering her wits, the stunned filly noticed her sister's notepad. The top few sheets lay crumpled, and one lay torn in half. She scrambled to her haunches and looked up at her sister. Rarity, I'm so sorry. Rarity walked over to the notepad. She picked up the mangled parchment, leafing through the smeared, dirtied, and creased designs. Dozens of drawings. The result of hours of work lay within those pages. The aesthetics of the sketches varied wildly. On one, a large hat matched the wide hem of a long and billowing dress, while another was simple, slim, and short. All night she had slaved over this notepad, hooves against her temples as if the pressure could squeeze some brilliant idea from her skull. Then inspiration had struck. On the top page, half of the best idea yet still clung to the notepad's spine. Rarity's trembling hoof reached out and slowly picked up the pad. Rarity? The sound of her sister's voice snapped Rarity out of her reverie. She shook her head. The notepad dropped from her hoof. She turned toward her sister with a small, sad smile.
It's fine. That design was simply awful anyways,
she said, histrionically rolling her eyes. Sweetie Belle's eyes widened as Rarity hugged her.
I'm sorry, Sweetie Belle. I should have paid more attention to you.
It's okay, Rarity, Sweetie Belle replied. She slowly wrapped her foreleg around her sister. I forgive you. The two sat there in their embrace. They remained silent until one felt a wet splatter on her head. Rarity? Did you just drool on me? Rarity gasped at her sister.
Certainly not. What an uncouth thing to do.
Another droplet of moisture landed on the older sister's head.
Something landed on me too, is it?
This is how Californians react to rain.
That's a good one.
Got him. She looked toward the sky and was greeted by a series of raindrops on her face. Rain! Sweetie Belle cried. She ran ahead, ducking under trees as much as possible. Rarity pulled the umbrella out of her saddlebag. The canvas opened, shielding her from all the falling droplets. She took brisk strides toward home. Her eyes darted toward her sister. Sweetie Belle shivered as she ran. Her mane clung to her head in a moist, matted mess. Ugh, I hate that feeling.
I know. I'm feeling it right now.
Man, you're taking a shower while we record the podcast? Efficient.
Yep. I mean, I figured, why not?
Yeah.
Tom, add a shower sound effect in here. In fact, just add that through the whole thing.
God.
You know, why not?
Just have the sound of, like, your voice echoing as if you're in the bathroom.
Dumbest idea ever.
Water dripped from her coat. Streams ran from her mane down her chin and cheeks, creating the illusion that she was crying. Rarity's heart sank at the sight.
Come here,
she said. The drenched filly quickly complied. The umbrella was only designed for one mare. Much like the majority of Rarity's possessions, it was purchased for style rather than functionality. As such, sacrifice had to be made in order to shield the two ponies. Rarity shifted the umbrella to cover her sister, leaving her own right half exposed. Sweetie Belle nuzzled her sister, flashing her a grateful smile. Rarity matched the smile with one of her own before a shiver coursed through her.
Let's get out of this rain,
she said. Sweetie Belle nodded. The two raced together through the torrent toward the warmth of home. The shawl glowed as it draped itself around Sweetie Belle, who was sitting on the floor of Carousel Boutique. Rarity approached her from across the room, levitating 2 cups of hot cocoa. Sweetie Belle thanked her sister as one of the cups landed in front of her. She almost said she shipped. She sipped the warm beverage, feeling a wave of heat flow through her. She sighed contentedly. Rarity sat on the floor across from her sister. Silence hung over them, nearly as heavy as the wool shawls.
So, what do you want to do now, Sweetie Belle?
Rarity asked, breaking the quiet. Sweetie Belle tilted her head. Why do you ask that? I thought you were going to get back to sewing that dress. Rarity traced a hoof around the rim of her glass.
I can't. That was my last notepad. You fuck.
She starts laying into her.
It just gets really uncomfortably mean.
Just like, you thought that I cared about you? The notepad! Sweetie Belle's eyes widened. Oh no, I've completely forgot about it. She moved toward the door. Maybe we could still save it?
No, don't trouble yourself about it,
Rarity said, airily waving her hoof.
I planned on getting a few new ones anyway. I was merely putting it off until this project was finished.
But the deadline! You only have 3 days! A grin filled Rarity's face.
Do you really think this is the first time I've faced this kind of time crunch?
She laid down on the floor.
I'll be fine. Necessity is the mother of innovation, as they say. Rarity has ADHD. It's clear.
Nice.
I think all the main 6 probably have ADHD, except for Applejack.
Okay, Sweetie Belle replied, as she sat in front of her hot cocoa once more.
So, what did you want to do? We could play that one game you like. 20 questions, was it?
Chuckling, Sweetie Belle said, But you're horrible at that game. I thought you hated it. Rarity's grin stiffened with a toothy grimace.
Well, sisterhood is a give and take, you know.
I know. Sweetie Belle laid down, supporting her head with one hoof. But I thought maybe we could just talk. She swirled the cocoa in her cup. We spent so much time fighting that we barely end up really talking. An invisible blow struck Rarity in the gut.
Bam!
She threw up her hot cocoa all over the place.
Threw up her hot cocoa onto Sweetie Belle.
Just a disgusting, sad ending to the story.
No resolution.
Just sadness and throw up.
Gross. Is that really what you think of our relationship?
Sweetie Belle nodded.
Sweetie,
She looked her sister straight in the eyes.
You will have my undivided attention for the rest of the night. There will be no fighting, just sister bonding time.
but I wanted to fight in the octagon.
Let's go, bitch.
The silence returned as Sweetie Belle
Two mares enter, one mare leaves. Sorry.
It's like jousting, but their horns are the swords.
Oh, God. Rarity has such an advantage. Well, I guess Sweetie Belle has the height advantage, but her horn looks so much duller.
I feel like Rarity just has an advantage in like everything against Sweetie Belle, except for friendship.
Rarity would wipe the fucking floor with Sweetie Belle.
The silence returned as Sweetie Belle stared at the bottom of her cup. Raising her gaze, she asked, "Promise?"
Promise.
Rarity grinned. She raised her glass to take a sip.
How was school?
Oh, it was fine.
Hear any good gossip?
Sweetie Belle rolled her eyes. It's always about gossip with you, isn't it? That's how they get into another fight.
Uh-oh.
She smiled slyly and added, "But since you mentioned it, Scootaloo seems to think that Button Mash likes me."
Button Mash is gay! You can't take him away from... Was that actually even Button? That was Rumble and Button Mash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not the best ship.
No, I'm just saying, because that's like the one fic we've read with Button Mash. Freaking,
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Straight Colts don't kiss.
Guess we should read more Butt Mash fics, although, you know.
Let's read like 3 straight ones to make up for it.
Aw, your first crush.
Rarity teased. Her sister pouted. I don't have a crush on him. He's just okay.
I see.
Rarity said as she sipped her cocoa. I don't. Sweetie Belle pouted as her sister stifled a laugh with her hoof. She took a loud slurp from her cocoa, prompting Rarity to crinkle her nose in disdain. Rarity cleared her throat.
Well, what do you think about your other classmates?
Sweetie Belle stared up at the ceiling. Where do I begin? The two talked all night, sharing secrets and gossip until Sweetie Belle's eyes became too heavy to keep open. She softly drifted to sleep. Rarity carried her sister upstairs, tucking her into the guest bed. She stooped over to kiss her sister's forehead.
Good night, Sweetie Belle,
she whispered. As she made her way toward her own room, she passed her workroom. The door was still open, and she couldn't help but look at the mess she had made. She could have cleaned up the mess, rather than going to bed. She could have even stayed up and worked on the dress. The papers in the trash bin had only been used on one side, after all. Rarity looked back at the room where her sister slept. No, some things were more important than work. She stifled a yawn and closed the workroom door. The blankets were warm and inviting when she crawled into bed. She closed her eyes, smiling as sleep overtook her. Rarity opened her eyes, stretching as she stepped out of bed. The sunlight lent a soft glow to the room through the curtains. She opened the window, filling the room with light, accompanied by a soft breeze. The air outside still smelled faintly of rain, even as the streets dried. She walked downstairs, hesitating in spite of herself, for fear of what she might find. Surprisingly, the kitchen was devoid of both smoke and of her sister. Instead, at the table, there was a bowl of cereal with a note next to it. It read, Dear Rarity,
thanks for all your help. You've been a real good boy this year. Warm regards, Santa Claus.
Oh, God. And then Sweetie Belle's just gone. Turns out she was Santa the whole time.
Best twist ending ever.
Aw, that would be amazing.
Dear Rarity, by the time you read this, I'll be at school, so you don't have to worry about where I am. I wanted to make you breakfast, but then I remembered the last time I did.
And I bet Ross does too, but I don't.
Yep. So she burnt the toast.
Classic.
Well, I say she burnt the toast. I mean, it was more like soup when she put it on the table.
What? She melted the toast?
Yep.
So I poured you cereal because I didn't want you getting mad at me again. By the way, I got you something. It's in your workroom.
Her curiosity piqued. Rarity walked back upstairs to her workroom. She opened the door to find the room exactly as she left it,
save for one change. A new notepad sat on the desk. Another note was written on the first page. Thanks for all your help. Thanks for spending time with me last night. I know it kept you from working on your dress, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. This notepad is both an apology for the one I destroyed, and as a thank you for last night. Love you, sister. Sweetie Belle. Underneath the note was a drawing of Rarity and Sweetie Belle as they talked during the rainstorm. Aw. Rarity smiled, then jolted as inspiration struck her. She had the perfect idea for the dress. She carefully tore out the note and pinned it to the wall above her desk. She then grabbed the notepad and began to sketch her final design for the dress.
Thank you, Sweetie Belle.
We don't get to see the design for the dress?
And that was the last time those two spoke together, because later that day, Sweetie Belle died in a horrible accident.
No!
Absolutely tragic.
She looked into the mirror again.
No.
That was A Walk in the Park by that one writer.
Who?
Yeah, that one.
Who?
You know the one.
No, I don't know the one, Wizzy.
It was that one writer.
Yes, which writer are we talking about?
That one writer.
Which one? There are a lot. I can name at least 5 that we've read from.
Okay, do it.
Okay. Caffeinated Pinky.
Of course.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboro.
Whatever. There was, Rune Soldier Dan.
I was hoping you'd name him.
Short Skirts and Explosions.
Yeah.
And then, number 5, Aaaah.
Classic. I was hoping you'd say that one writer.
Yeah, I came up with that, like, after I said Aaaah, like, right after. Couldn't do that.
But I thought that this fic was super sweet.
Yeah.
Cute slice of life fic.
It was very nice.
I was kind of hoping the dress would be like a 2-person dress that they'd wear together. That would be pretty funny.
That would be hilarious.
Sort of like 2 people in a horse costume.
But it wasn't that.
Nah, well, we don't know. It could have been.
I guess. You're not wrong.
So what did you think of the fic, though?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cute. I think, either Rarity should get off her high horse, ba-dum-ching, or Sweetie Belle should stop thinking that the world revolves around her.
Well, I think they both learned that, But maybe they'll just go back to being the same person the next day. Sometimes people do that.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
But for one nice day, they had a nice walk in the park.
For once in their goddamn lives.
Would you go on a walk in the park with me?
Yes.
Nice.
The industrial park.
Oh, no!
Cue epic guitar riff.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us in tonight's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Actually, I hope you enjoyed it more than I did.
Yeah, because Wizzy hated this episode, actually.
I had a burning, searing hatred for Sweetie Belle's insistence on interrupting Rarity's definitely important work.
He hates it so much.
Grrr!
Growl.
Nice.
All right, good night, everybody.
See ya!
Also, Button Mash wasn't gay in that.
Okay.
It just so happened to be the story we picked out for the gay one.
That one was like, they were kids, so their sexuality isn't really fleshed out yet. But like,
sure
he kissed a dude.
He might have had a crush on Sweetie Belle, in fact.
I think I remember that line too, but at the same time, we don't know his sexuality because they're just kids. But he's gay.
Oh, God. This is the gay agenda.
Just telling people they're gay until they believe it.
It worked on me.
Yes!
This is what they want. It's the liberal future they want. Are you gonna take it?
Yeah.
Well, vote me in the next election, and I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh. You know what? I will vote for you. I want to see.
I would burn this fucking place to the ground.
Yeah, they're already doing it anyway.
It's not a great idea having an anarchist on the in the White House.
I'm sure you couldn't do any worse.
Probably not.
Cut to year 2 of Ross's first term, and the world is peaceful.
I don't know how it happened.
I didn't mean for this. It was supposed to turn out badly.
I just kind of pushed a button at one point. I don't know. Okay, so we could take that joke a few different ways.
Right. My interpretation is just that the White House has a secret button that causes world peace, and they choose not to press it.
My interpretation is that it was a button to launch all the nuclear missiles at every other country.
No!
And we get world peace via war.
It's like freaking the Lorax, the freaking movie where there's just the one town left that's a haven and the rest of the world is completely destroyed.
Thneedville.
In Thneedville.